I am so excited for today. Today is episode 4 of our Goodwill Grand Tour.
Like, it would take you a week to visit every Goodwill in Portland.
That needs to be a thing.
Right.
My husband's full of great ideas, but this might be my very favorite. Over the next few weeks, I'm going to be taking you with me to every single Goodwill within the Goodwill Industries of the Columbia Willamette. I went on their website and guess what? It turns out that there are over 55 Goodwills in this region. So join me as we travel around Washington and Oregon, thrifting each Goodwill, looking for items to resell. This is going to be a thrift series you are not going to want to miss, so don't forget to subscribe. And let's go check these Goodwills off one at a time.
You are biting off something.
You put the idea in my head and I am running with it. We are kicking off today's episode and we're actually hitting the road and headed to Silverton, Oregon. This Goodwill is over an hour away from where I live and I don't get there as often as I should. But because it's an hour away from me, it's also an hour away from everyone else in Portland. And a lot of pickers do not go out that far to go thrifting. Let's cross our fingers, let's hit the road and see what we can find. We're kicking off the day at the Silverton Goodwill and I just pulled up and there's literally only one other car in the parking lot. So it just opened 1 minute ago. I'm kind of excited. It might not be too crowded in here. Fully stocked shelves. I'm in heaven right now. Oh my goodness. I'm loving these candle holders. There are 2 of them. They are only $2.99 each. These are great. I really like these. They look very handmade to me. You can't go wrong with candle holders, especially if you find a pair and they are nice, heavy metal and vintage. These were only $2.99 each, and I think they are awesome. I am pretty stoked about this find. I have lots of plants that I'm propagating at home and at my studio, so I'm always looking for cute little small planters. This one is $2.99. Not quite sure if it's vintage, but it's got great shape to it, and I like the texture and color, and it will work perfect in my studio. The other thing I like about this one is that it's a very soft, muted, neutral color. So I'll put one of my newly propagated plants in here once it's rooted and ready to go, and then this will work great for staging because it won't pull away too much attention from the item that I'm really trying to highlight when I'm decorating. This is kind of an interesting carved wood bowl. It's got different types of wood tones all pieced together, but it's this design with the swirl that's kind of interesting to me. It's $3.99 with a red tag, so it's not on sale, but it's different and I've never come across one like this before with that swirl design in it. The first thing you want to look for is known high-end collectible designers, but if you can't find that, what I look for is something different and unique. It's that little pizzazz in the details that makes all the difference when you're decorating. And if you're a reseller, it's going to make the difference in somebody wanting to purchase that specific bowl from you. This looks like a hand-painted Italian trivet. It says made in Italy on the back. It is $2.99. Sadly, this other one here does have a crack in it, so I'm not going to be picking that one up. But I am going to grab just the single one today. You know I had to get it because it's hand-painted in Italy. Trivets are so functional. Everybody uses trivets in their kitchen, or at least I hope you do, unless you have indestructible counters. This one's cute because it's got a pea pod. It was only $2.99, not worth a lot, probably worth about $14 to $16, but I like it, and I know one of you will too. I'm always on the hunt for antique wooden toolboxes. This one is not that old, but it is really sturdy. It's $9.99, and these are so functional. There are so many different things that you can do with them. I love to use these with rolled up towels in a bathroom. I'm not even going to go over all the things that this could be used for, but I always pick these up when I find them. I do prefer the more rustic antique ones, but this one's great too for only $10. Here's a cork-lidded ceramic bowl. It's got handles on each side. It's probably a sugar dish. It is $1.99. You can tell from the crazing here on the bottom that it's pretty old. I probably wouldn't have picked this up if it was $3 or $4, but for only $1.99, that's such a good price at Goodwill these days. It's a nice ceramic dish with a cork lid, and the inside is finished in a nice polished avocado green. This would be perfect for putting sugar in and having it next to your tea or coffee pot. Anything with curves and scalloped edges is very popular right now. This is a vintage ceramic dish and it is $4.99. I don't know who this is made by, but the shape on it is great and it's definitely worth more than $4.99. This is a great one because this could be used in a kitchen. You could use it as a serving platter. You could put fruit in it. Perfect serving dish for almost anything. But what I also like about it is that it could be used as a shallow planter. So if you have some succulents or you have things that just need a little bit of the soil, this would be great for something like that. This is a beautiful smoked glass mid-century era decanter or vase. It is $4.99. If you look at the top, you can kind of see how it was polished around the rim. And I believe that that means that this originally would have had a stopper in the top of it. And it would have been used as a wine decanter or for liquor. Unfortunately, when I looked around the store, I didn't end up finding the glass stopper. That would have been great to find because it would have been more valuable to sell as a full set. However, this will make a beautiful vase as it is, and if you're wanting something like this for yourself or even to resell and you can't find the original stopper that went in it, cork is really affordable. You just need to measure the hole size and look online and you can find some cork replacements. I don't know the designer on this. It could be Blanco. I'm not quite sure, but it's definitely a mid-century era one and worth a lot more than $4.99. This is a nice bowl. It looks like that's bamboo in there. It's only $1.99. Sadly, there are no more of these. I wish I would have found it with an entire set. This would be a great size for setting on a dresser or on a nightstand to take your jewelry off at the end of the day and put it in there. I always have some kind of a container near my bedside to take jewelry off of to make sure that it doesn't get lost. And if you have cats, you know why that's so important, because if you set down a piece of jewelry on a tabletop, they will bat that thing right off onto the floor, and then I can never find the other earring. I always like to check out these big wooden bowls. This one is a solid piece. I try not to buy wooden bowls if they're not a solid piece of wood. This one's in kind of rough shape, but I can see that the wood underneath is really beautiful. They've got $9.99 on it, which is a little steep for something needing restoration, but I think that I can get this looking pretty darn good. I've been trying not to give myself too many projects, but I just can't help myself. I love picking up things that need a little bit of work. And I've got a stash right now of some more wood that I'm gonna get stripped down here soon. So I'm gonna add this to that pile, and I will update you how this bowl turns out before the end of this series. So stay tuned for that. This one is nice and heavy and clearly a vintage vase. It's $3.99, but it's a blue tag, so that means that it is half off at $1.99. I know I've been buying a lot of glass lately, but I couldn't pass this up for only $2. It's nice and heavy, quality made, and if you are a reseller, this is a great time of year to be picking up vases and planters. Everyone's getting out there in their gardens, planting things, cutting fresh flowers to bring into their homes. This is a Swedish glass candle holder. These are fairly valuable. I think $30, $35 possibly. It's only $3.99. It is a green tag. Blue is the half off color this week, but that's a really good price for this. I don't see any chips or cracks. It's in really great condition. I was really hoping to find a second one of these after I found this on the shelf, but sadly I didn't find a second one. I love Scandinavian glass. These are by Nybro, and for $3.99 this was a really good deal. Simple glass like this, classic, modern, timeless, always a good investment, and Swedish glass sells very well. It's very collectible. These plates are new productions, but I love the patterns on them, especially the fact that they're mixed and matched. These small plates are $1.99. They're by Time and Table. They're not a high-end brand, but they really are beautiful and they look to be pretty well made. The large plates are $2.99 each. I think I'm gonna get these because these mixed match patterns would be so fun to decorate with in the studio. As you know, the majority of what I buy is vintage and the majority of what I buy I resell. However, I've got to have some stuff to keep at the studio for decorating for these videos. So I like to have a variety of different textures and patterns so that I can mix and match while I'm decorating. I do not buy a lot of fabric, but if I find mid-century bark cloth, I always get it. Vintage bark cloth, especially if it's in perfect condition, is worth a lot of money. This one is $7.99, and I know exactly what I'm gonna do with this. I'm so excited. I love this so much. Do you know what I'm gonna do with this? I'm gonna turn it into my tiki party dress for this summer. There's plenty of fabric, the color is amazing, and now I have to find somebody who can help me sew this into the perfect dress for this summer. I've only got a few months, but I'm gonna make it happen. I can't believe I just found the perfect tiki party fabric for my dress at Goodwill. I'm a huge fan of anything that's hammered or has kind of a brutalist feel to it. This picture is $4.99, green tag. It needs to be cleaned up a little bit, but it looks like it's in really good shape. We're coming up on summer, and that means that people are going to be entertaining. They're going to be entertaining outdoors. So I'm always thinking about the season when I'm buying vintage. This is a great time of year to be selling things that people are going to be using in their outdoor spaces. I used to sell at flea markets, and I sold a ton of these vintage Brazilian leather shoes when I sold at flea markets. This pair is $7.99, which is a really good price. They're worth probably about $40 to $50, and this pair is in really good shape. The soles are good. These last forever. I get asked all the time where I get all of my clothes, and 99.9% of it is secondhand, the majority thrifted at Goodwills. I also do get things off of eBay, Etsy, and Poshmark from time to time. I used to sell vintage clothing and home decor at flea markets for around 6 years. I sold at a market every single month, and leather shoes like this were one of my hottest sellers. These are not designer, but because things were made with such better quality standards in the past, quality leather is always going to be fashionable. They're just a half a size off for me, so I'm going to be selling these in my next upcoming sale. I think that this red leather pouch will be the perfect size for a lens that I have for my camera that I'm not always using. This would be great for taking that extra lens with me when I travel. It is $2.99. I always keep an eye out for high quality vintage leather, especially if I'm looking for things such as a camera case. This was originally meant probably as a coin purse, but I think it's going to be perfect to put my lens in and keep it nice and safe when I'm traveling. Oh, I love this hat so much. This is exactly what I was looking for the Paris trip this fall. It is $7.99, yellow tag. Sadly, it's not half off. I'm so excited I found this hat. I am hosting a group trip in Paris this fall with 30 of you. We're going to be hitting the flea markets in Paris and shopping together. And I had this idea of a black and white outfit that I wanted to wear for the flea market shopping day. And this is going to be perfect for that. I passed this up the first time I went by it, but I didn't realize that there was an entire set in the bag in the back. This is a vintage ashtray set, and the whole set is $6.99. Look at the little legs on this thing. Aren't they cute? When I saw this the first time, I kind of thought about it, but it didn't have a price tag on it, and I didn't realize that there was the rest of the set that somebody had opened up in the back. So don't forget to look in the back. They're little cauldrons, and they're for personal ashtrays. Back in the day, lots of people smoked, and lots of people smoked in their homes, and so they would have probably used this as a central large ashtray, and then each person could take one of these little tiny ashtrays and have it next to their chair, sitting next to them, and then you bring your cauldron back and set it on the main tray. Even though times have changed and a lot of people don't smoke anymore, some people still do, and these can be used for burning incense or Palo Santo or sage sticks. So I do sell ashtrays quite well. And they got cute little legs, so I had to get them. Okay, I saw another one of these, and I was actually going to pass it up because I thought it was just a single, but now that I found a second one, I think I might get these. These are Scandinavian glass, and this pattern is called Ice Bark. This one is $3.99. These must have come out separately because they had different price tags on them, but I love this type of Scandinavian glass. It's not incredibly valuable. This pair is worth between $30 and $40, but I only paid $7 for both of them, so not too bad, and I think that they're going to look awesome. I decorate with a lot of Scandinavian glass during Christmas time. Let's take a look at this candle holder. It's got really great design to it, and it's nice and tall. It's only $4.99. We are gonna get this. As someone who loves to decorate, candles and candle holders are a huge part of design to me. Every space feels cozier when you have candles. I really like this one because it's so tall that you could put it on a table setting with a pillar candle, and it really wouldn't get in the way of people seeing each other from across the table. I love some drama on a table setting, and I think that this is going to be really beautiful. I might possibly even keep this for Little Italy. We're working on our rooftop terrace right now. It probably won't be finished until the end of summer, but I'm getting really excited, and I've been picking up more items for decorating the space as soon as we are done refinishing the surface. So I think I'm going to add this to my Little Italy stash. Holy crickets. I feel like my camera's shaking right now because I'm so excited. That was insane. I have 2 boxes completely full.
This is gonna be a good day.
You should have seen my face when I came around that corner to check out and I spotted that lamp. So first of all, I kind of thought I knew what it might be because I found a lamp that I did a lot of research on that was by THRIFT of California. This one really reminded me of that style. That one ended up being worth over $1,000. So my heart was pitter-pattering. I was getting excited. I wheeled my cart over there as quick as I could and picked up that lamp. I walked up to the register holding it like it was my baby. They probably thought I was crazy. I'm so excited I found it. This was an incredible score at Goodwill. Are you kidding me? $29.99 for this lamp. It is worth well over $1,000. However, I have not figured out who the exact designer is. The one listed online for $1,200 also didn't know who the exact maker was. The signature does not look like Gamboni. It doesn't look like THRIFT of California, but it sure reminds me so much of his style and his work. So I'm kind of at a loss right now. If any of you can help me identify this lamp, please let me know in the comments below. I will make sure to pin your comments so that everybody can go to the comments and easily find out and get an update on who this lamp was made by. Today is off to a very good start. We still have 3 more Goodwills to get to. Our next stop is the Molalla, Oregon Goodwill. Oh my gosh, I have to check out this jacket. It's a tapestry jacket. It's a size medium. It's $9.99, and this thing is fantastic. Look at all the fruit. There was no way I was not getting this. This is ridiculous. It's awesome. I love this so much. And vintage tapestry jackets are so popular right now. This one is so fun. Look at all the different fruit. It's in really great shape and it was only $10. I want to know how many of you were a part of the initial trend when these came out. Was it in the 80s or 90s, early 90s maybe? I think this would be cute over a white t-shirt and some cut-off Levi jeans. I'm so curious if any of you ever wore something like this. This is a vintage Japanese chopstick style folding basket. It is $2.99. Let me show you how these open up. You just fold them out and they turn into a gorgeous basket. I love the design on these. They're so simple. They're not incredibly valuable. I think they sell for around $30 to $40, but this one was only $2.99. These glass bowls are stunning. They have this gray swirl pattern. They're matte, very translucent. The bowls are $1.99 each. And look at these plates. They are beautiful. They're clearly handmade. Each one's slightly different. The whole set is $7.99. I think these are stunning. Look at this. They're kind of translucent too. I don't know if you can kind of see the light coming through them. They're so beautiful. I'm so glad that I found these. I think that they might be maybe 1980s. I'm not quite sure. This is why I love thrifting. You never know what you're gonna find. Look at this old wooden secretary. This looks like it's actually antique. It's a letter holder and these little doors open up and then it's got a drawer here in the bottom. This might actually be worth some money. These are not easy to find and it's not something that you come across at Goodwill every day. It is only $12.99. This was a really cool find for Goodwill. You don't find older things there very often. In our area, typically they pull those things and they sell them on the website. So I was really excited to find this. One of the things I look for to see if something might be a little bit older is I look for flathead screws instead of Phillips screws. It's not always a guarantee, but sometimes that helps you see when the hardware might have been made. Isn't this great? For $12.99. That's a really good find. We didn't find a ton of things at the Molalla Goodwill, but I was actually just there about a week ago with Jesse in a different episode. So we kind of had already picked it recently, but I'm still really excited about the things that I found. And now we are headed to our third Goodwill of the day, Woodburn, Oregon. I've actually sold these exact candle holders a couple times in the past. I love them because they have that stacked Art Deco look with the brass detail on them. The taller one is $3.99 and this shorter one is $2.99. One time I found these exact candle holders in a set of 6 at Goodwill. I was happy at least there were 2 of them today, and I love anything that has an Art Deco look to it. This wooden plaque was actually here last week and I passed it up and then I kind of thought about it again later and wished I had bought it. It's a wooden plaque that has a hot air balloon and some little people in there and it's only $2.99. I passed it up last time, but we're gonna get it today. I had to get it today. I regretted not getting it last time. I just think it's really sweet. Someone handmade this out of wood, and I love that there's the 2 little people. They look like they're kissing in the hot air balloon. I'm kind of new to gourd art, but I know that there are artists that are very collectible and they sell online for hundreds of dollars. This one's fun. It's got a great South American look to it, and it is artist signed. It looks like it says NOE. It's $6.99, and even though I don't know this artist, I think it's worth the chance to pick it up. This is a whole new genre that I'm kind of just now learning about. I don't know a lot about gourd art, but I do know that when you see an artist signature, especially one that you can actually read, so it'll be easier to research, that you should pick it up because no matter what, it's going to be a learning experience, and there's value in that. Ooh, let's take a look at this. I'm not sure if this is an ashtray or if it originally had other pieces in the set. It is California, USA pottery, and it is $3.99 as is. They've got as is on it because there's a chip on both the front rim and the back rim, but that doesn't scare me from buying it. When I was in Japan, I learned how to kintsugi pottery, which is the Japanese process of repairing cracks and chips. I even was able to buy a kit with all the things that I need to do it, and I brought that home with me. And later this summer, my friend Michelle, who also took the class with me in Japan, we are going to try out kintsugi for the first time on our own. So this goes to that stash, and you'll have to stay tuned later this summer to find out how it goes. And I'll be sharing the entire process that I learned with you so that you can do it too if you would like to learn how to kintsugi. I know this design. These are French, and I know that they're very valuable. These are much more traditional than my typical style, but there's no way that I'm going to be leaving these here behind on this shelf. The small plate set is $4.99 for the set of 4. There's a set of 2 here for $3.99. It is $6.99 for the set of the 4 medium-sized plates, and it is $6.99 for the large plates for a set of 4. I will pop in some comps up here so you can see how much each individual plate might be worth. A few of the plates do have some damage, so I will have to think about whether I want to try to do my Japanese kintsugi on these and try to save them, or if I want to leave that up to the buyer who's actually going to use them. These were such a great find, and the other thing that's really cool is that the more that I research this specific pattern, the more I'm going to learn about this French brand and learn more patterns to keep an eye out for. People ask me all the time, how did you learn what you know? And first of all, there is so much I do not know, as you can see in every episode. I'm always saying I'm not quite sure, but how I learn is by doing exactly this, getting out there, looking at things, researching them when I get home, looking in identification books, posting in Facebook identification groups, and all of you have been a huge outlet for me for helping identify things throughout the years too. So I have to say thank you so much for that. I love my job. I am so grateful to get to do this, and I love learning alongside all of you. This pot looks like it's probably Arabia of Finland. I think I've seen this exact pattern before. It's $3.99, and that's an incredible deal. It's not in perfect condition. It has a little glaze imperfection on the top rim, but no chips or cracks. This is a great score for only $3.99. I always get excited when they roll out new carts while I'm here shopping. Look at these little planters. This blue one is $2.99 and it's artist signed on the back. This larger one is $3.99. We are going to get both of these. Aren't they cute? I especially love the blue one. Isn't that beautiful with the black and white striped design? I love little tiny planters, and these are all handmade, hand painted, and they are artist signed. I was just starting to feel like I was going to give up on lamps in this aisle, but look at this pair of beautiful vintage lamps. These are oldies. They are only $7.99 each. I can't believe it. I cannot get these in the cart fast enough. I can't believe I just found a pair of these at Goodwill for only $7.99. These are incredible. They are so heavy, well made, antique, and I love this detail up here. These are absolutely beautiful, and Jesse and I actually just found a pair of matching lampshades that I think are going to work to style with these. Okay, I don't have two harps that are small enough, that are short enough. You can kind of get the idea of what they might look like. These lamps probably originally had some taller, longer barrel style shades, but I'm kind of loving this shade with the ornate lamp. I think it actually complements it really well. I have to get the right size harps. I'm thinking maybe an inch or two shorter than the one that's on this one currently. Obviously, it's not going to look like the one there on the left, but I kind of think those might look really good. Let me know what you think in the comments below. We are crushing it today at Goodwill's. We've got one more stop today. Our final stop, we are headed to Wilsonville, Oregon. Loving this vintage lampshade. It looks like it's in really good condition. It is only $6.99. I have so many single lamps that this can go with, but I love the little detail of the black stitching. Look how big it is. Gorgeous for $6.99. This is such a beautiful crystal bowl. Oh my goodness, it's heavy too. It's $7.99. I can't quite tell what the tag is underneath, and I'm not familiar with this design, but it's beautiful and I know it's going to be worth more than $8. This is what I love about crystal. Look at how beautiful that color is and the way that it reflects light. I don't decorate with a lot of glass, but when I do, I want it to be a really beautiful, well-made kind of statement piece. I'm always looking for something that's going to have a really unique detail to it, but also be able to blend with lots of other things and patterns. This is what I call a crossover piece. So if you are mixing eras, or even if you have Victorian style, this is going to go. If you have mid-century modern, this would work. If you have primitive or rustic or cottage core, this would work with that style because it's timeless and it will go with anything. I'm in need of a few more pitchers to serve juice at our tiki party this summer. This one's got a cool hammered look, very modernist. It's $7.99. This is going to be perfect for entertaining. We have a few pitchers. I have 5 siblings. There are 6 of us in my family, and I have over 30 first cousins. So when we have family over, it's no joke. It's a whole thing. I actually think that this is a modern pitcher, and it looks very similar to some that West Elm sold. I still got a great deal for only $7.99. Is it weird that I really love things that have wheat design on them? I think that this looks like a wheat design on this handmade studio pottery plate. It's signed on the back Kira VL, and it's only $2.99. Gotta check it for chips or cracks. I don't see any, just a few little glaze imperfections, but overall it's in great shape. I'm telling you, I love wheat design. I actually used to have glasses from the 1970s that had a wheat design on them. I had those for years in my kitchen. I like this one because it's got this kind of cool, organic, wavy shape to it. It's not perfect, but that's what I love about it because it makes it look more handmade, which it is. This is a Japanese stoneware vase or decanter. It might have actually originally had a cork in the top for sake. It is $1.99. Originally, it probably had some kind of a stopper up here, but it's going to make a perfect vase. Simple, neutral, great shape to it, and you can mix it with anything. This is a brass elephant, probably made in India. It's got some beautiful etched designs on it, and it is $6.99. That's kind of steep for one this small, but the etching on it is so beautiful. I think we're gonna get him today. Trunks up for good luck. Nice little brass elephant. It was $6.99, which again is a little bit steep for one this small, but I thought the design on it was pretty, and I love decorating with brass figurines. Look at this yellow Japanese ikebana vase. It's even got the flower frog in the bottom, and thankfully it's glued on there, so it's not gonna fall out when we turn it over. It is $7.99, and it is artist signed on the bottom. I love Japanese ikebana vases. I actually have maybe 5 of them throughout my home, and I use them all the time with clippings from my yard. Yellow's such a cheery and fun color to decorate with. I feel like I've been buying a lot of color. I always buy more color in the summer months. These would be great for doing a fun, colorful outdoor table setting. It is $4.99 for this group and $4.99 for the other, so $10 total. Just so you know, these are not orbs. I don't have magical beans in my car with me. It's dust. Every time I pull out a piece of vintage, dust goes up in the air. If these were spirits, I would have a lot of spirits around me. Anyways, I just had to say that because there's dust flying around everywhere from opening these up and shaking them. I don't know why I decided to shake them. I cannot believe the amazing things that we have been finding on this series so far. There is something to be said for really getting out there and hitting Goodwills that not everybody gets to. Today was unbelievable. I cannot believe that lamp. It blew my mind when I saw it there sitting on those bookshelves. I want to know what your favorite thing in today's episode was. And was there anything on the shelves that you saw me pass up that you would have picked up? Let me know in the comments below. I've already picked the next 4 Goodwill locations that I'm going to take you to, and I can't wait to see you in that episode. If you are new here, I want to say hi. I'm Laura. Thank you so much for watching the videos. And I know it's cheesy to say, but subscribing helps my channel so much. So I'm so grateful for each and every single one of you that subscribe. So if you haven't already, subscribe to my channel today, and that way you won't miss when the next video in this series comes out. I've also created a playlist for this entire series, so you can get the link to that in the description below. That way you can watch the episodes in order or in any order that you would like. And if you are hoping to get your hands on anything you saw me find in today's episode or any future thrifting episode, I list all of my vintage finds the first Friday of every single month on my website, leftcoastrevivals.com. I hope everybody is having a wonderful day, and I will see you in our next Goodwill Pickin' episode.